This video has been suggested from this comment, so remember to like and comment on my videos so that your song suggestion may become the next piano lesson. Also, only about 10% of you who watch my lessons are subscribed, so if you enjoyed or learned something from this video, please consider subscribing. It's free and you can always undo it later. Anyway, let's get right into the lesson. Hello guys, this is Amosdoll Music, and in today's lesson I'm going to teach you how to play Kino, a pack of cigarettes, on the piano. There are three main sections that make up this, so let's get right into it. The first section is pretty nice, give you a preview before we start learning it. It goes like this, check it out. Alright, beautiful. Let's break it up into a few parts. It's easy to learn. We'll break it up to 4 parts. So the first part, right hand starting on the B, right next to middle C here. Okay, middle C is here for a reference, so it's the B right below it. Okay, so let's start. So starting on the B, C, and then up to the higher B. A, E, C, G, E, C, D, up to A, F sharp, C, B, G, and then up to B. That's it for the first part for the right hand. All right, let's learn it once again. So it goes like this, goes B, C, and then up to the higher B, A, down to E, C, up to G, E, C, D, up to A, F sharp, down to C, B, up to G, up to B. That's it for the right hand. Now, left hand, we have 4 very important chords, because this 4 chords in this particular order pretty much make up the entire lesson. Okay, it's always these 4 chords in this particular order, so make sure to master these 4 chords right now so you can like play around and improvise with it later on. So the 4 chords are A minor, which is A, C, E. Second chord is C major, which is C, E, G. Third chord is D major, which is D, F sharp, A. And fourth chord is E minor, which is E, G, B. So these 4 chords in mind, so A minor, C major, D major, and E minor. The 2 hands together goes like this, so right hand starts, the higher B and A minor together. After the C, C major by itself, right hand continues, D and D major together, C and E minor together. That's it for the first part. Let's learn it once again. So right hand starts, together, here, together, together. Awesome. Now moving on to the second part, right hand continues, goes A, descending like an A minor arpeggio, E, C, A, up to G, down to E, down to B, C, and then D, up to A, F sharp, C, B. That's it for the right hand for the second part. Let's learn it once again. So it goes like this. So it goes A, down to E, C, A, up to G, E, down to B, C, D, up to A, F sharp, C, B. That's it for the right hand, okay? Now, the left hand, we have the same 4 chords once again. So you know that we mentioned that very important 4 chords. So it's A minor, A, C, E, C major, C, E, G, D major, D, F sharp, A, and E minor, E, G, B. So yeah, make sure to master it. The rest of the lesson, we'll just say these 4 chords and you should know how to play it, since it's always going to be these same 4 chords in this particular order. Okay, so 2 hands together goes like this. So A and A minor together, G and C major together, D and D major together, B and E minor together. Like that. There you go. Let's learn it again. So together, 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 together. Alright, there you go. Now, the third part of this first section is actually exactly the same as the first part. So back to like that. So this third part, same as the first part. Remember that. Now, fourth and last part of this section goes like this. Goes A, down to E, C, down to A, and then more than was about like a 2 octave jump. Go all the way up to this high G, F sharp, D, and then octave below D, then E, D, E. Yeah, quite jumpy fourth part here for this right hand. Okay, let's learn it again. So we have the descending A minor, A, E, C, A, and then about 2 octaves above, G, F sharp, D, and an octave below D, and then E, D, E. That's it for the right hand. Okay, left hand, same 4 chords that you know, A minor, C major, D major, E minor. With that in mind, turn together goes like this. So A and A minor together, the high G and C major together, D and D major together, E and E minor together. That's it. Let's learn it once again. So together, 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 together. There you go. And that's it for this first section. Okay, remember to practice this first section because it comes back later on. This beautiful thing. Okay, now moving on to the second section. Give you a preview. This section is a bit longer. It's kind of like the what do you call it? The kind of verse section, you can say. Okay, give you a preview before we start learning it. It goes like this. Alright, let's go ahead and learn it. Okay, now we'll break it up to parts. Okay, so first part, right hand goes E, D, and then 3 E's. 1, 2, 3, D, and then another 4 E's. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 D's. E, F sharp, B. That's it for the first part. Alright, let's learn it again. It goes E, D, E, 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 D, E, 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 D, D, E, F sharp, B. That's it for the right hand. Left hand, same 4 chords that you know. A minor, C major, D major, E minor. 2 hands together goes like this. So right hand starts. And then the third note, together, 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 together. Alright, that's it for the first part. Let's learn it again. So, together, 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 together. Moving on to the second part, right hand continues. It goes E, D, E, 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 D, E, E, F sharp, G, F sharp, D, E. That's it for the second part. For the right hand, let's learn it again. So it goes E, D, E, 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 D, E, E, F sharp, G, F sharp, D, E. Okay? Left hand we have the same 4 chords. So the A minor, C major, D major, E minor. 2 hands together goes like this for the second part. So right hand starts. And together, 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 together. That's it. Let's learn it again. So it goes together, 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 together. That's it for the second part. Okay, moving on to the third part. Right hand goes up to the B, 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 down to E, 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 D, D, E, F sharp, B. That's it for the third part. Alright, let's learn it again. So 3 B's, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 E's, and then 2 D's. E, F sharp, B. Alright, left hand same 4 chords that you know already. 2 hands together goes like this. So right hand starts, together, 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 together. That's it. Let's learn it once again. So it goes 1, 2, together, 1, 2, 3, together, 2, 3, together, together. That's it. That's it for the third part. Moving on to the fourth part, right hand continues. Goes E, D, E, 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 D, E, 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 D, up to G, and then 4 E's, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. Let's learn it again. So it goes E, D, E, 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 D, E, 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 D, up to G, and then 4 E's, 1, 2, 3, 4. Left hand, we have the same 4 chords that you know already very much. 2 hands together goes like this. So right hand starts, E and A minor together, E and C major together, D and D major together, and E and E minor together. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. There you go. Let's learn it again. So it goes like this. Together, 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 2, 3, 4. That's it for the fourth part. Okay, now moving on to the fifth part. Okay, right hand goes like this, goes up to the A for 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, down to E, E, D, E, B. That's it. Let's learn it again. So it goes 4 A's. 1, 2, 3, 4, down to E, E, D, E, B. Alright, left hand, same 4 chords that you know again. Turn together goes like this. Together, 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 together. That's it. That's the fifth part. Let's learn it again. Together, 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 together. That's it for the fifth part. Moving on to the sixth part. Right hand continues. Goes E, D, E, 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 D, E, 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 F sharp, G, F sharp, D, E. That's it for the right hand. Okay, let's learn it again. So it goes E, D, E, 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 D, E, 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 F sharp, G, F sharp, D, E. Left hand, same 4 chords again. So A minor, C major, D major, E minor. With that in mind, turn together goes like this. So right hand starts, E and A minor together, E and C major together, G and D major together, E and E minor together. That's it. Let's learn it again. Together, 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 together. Moving on, the seventh part, right hand continues, goes E, D, and then 3 E's. 1, 2, 3, D, E, 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 D, D, E, F sharp, B. That's it for the seventh part for the right hand. Let's learn it again. So E, D, E, 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 D, E, 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 D, D, E, F sharp, B. That's it for the right hand. Left hand, the same 4 chords that you know. So A minor, C major, D major, and E minor. With that in mind, turn together goes like this. So right hand starts, E and A minor together, E and C major together, D and D major together, E and E minor together. That's it. There you go. Let's learn it again. So together, 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 together. That's it. Moving on to the 8th and last part of the second section. Right hand goes up to the octave above B, 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 and then down to the lower E. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, D, and then up to G, F sharp, E. That's it. So yeah, 3 B's, 7 E's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, D, and then up to G, F sharp, E. Okay, so that's the right hand. Left hand, same 4 chords that you know. So A minor, C major, D major, E minor. With that in mind, 2 hands together goes like this. Right hand starts, 3rd B and A minor together, 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 together. That's it. Let's learn it again. So together, 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 together. There you have it. That is it for the second section. So that's the longest section here. So make sure to master that. Let's go back. So after you got this second section, the song goes back to the first section. The main awesome theme that goes like this. The one that goes. After the first section is played again here, it then goes back to the second section that you just learned as well. So it's just like section 1, section 2, section 1, section 2, like that. Okay, so section 2 again. You can also harmonize the right hand with the chord sometimes. Like you can do something like. Same chords. Yeah, so you can improvise like that, but based on the melody and chords if you want as well. But don't worry if you don't have enough of the the improvisation or decoration patterns. You can just keep it simple to the melody and chords. Okay, but anyways, after you've done this second section there again, it then goes to the third section, which is a pretty awesome section. Okay, so it goes like this. Give you a slow preview of this section. It's actually not as difficult. It sounds difficult, but once you learn the patterns, it's not that hard. The left hand also keeps the same 4 chords. It goes like this. Check it out. Alright, but anyway, so there are there's 4 parts to this, but it's actually not as difficult once you learn the pattern, okay? So let's go right now. Here we go. So right hand, we're starting on the D, C, B, C, D, and then below an octave down to the E, and then back up to the D, C, B, C, D, and then down to the E again, and then back up to the D, C, B, C, D, C, and then down to E, up to 2 C's, down to E, back up to C, B, and then 2 E's, up to B, alternate back to the E, and then up to C, back down to the E, and up to the D, and then alternate back to the E. Yeah, you can see there's like a pattern to this. You can see like the lowest note E is kind of like this syncopation. So you always have this E down here, nothing below that for the right hand. So you can really think of it as like D, C, B, C, D, D, C, B, C, D, D, C, B, C, D, C, 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 and then C, B, like that, like without the E's first, okay? And then you can add the E's in, so like this, D, C, B, C, D, and then the low E, and back up D, C, B, C, D, E, and D, C, B, C, D, C, E, C, C, E, C, B, E, E, B, E, C, E, D, E, like that. It kind of gets into the fingers quite easily once you kind of like figure out the right hand higher notes first, then apply the lower E notes, okay? Like this. Like that. It's kind of like alternating between it. Okay, so now, left hand, we have the 4 chords that you know, so A minor, C major, D major, E minor. With that in mind, turn together goes like this, so D and A minor together, B and C major together, D and D major together, E and E minor together. Like that. There you go. Let's learn it again. So it goes together, 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 together. And then the second part is actually exactly the same as the first part, so you repeat. Okay, and then the third part is actually very similar to the first part, but all you do, you replace the like DCBs in the first part with EDC. So it's like E, D, C, D, E, and then the low octave below E, and then same thing, E, D, C, D, E, and then low E, and then E, D, C, D, E, D, and then a similar pattern, but with this E, D, D, E, D, C, and then this last pattern you kind of know from the first part, which is E, E, B, E, C, E, D, E, like that. There's a trick to learn it based off the first part. Okay, let's learn it again. So it goes E, D, C, D, E, and then low octave E, and then E, D, C, D, E, low octave E, and then E, D, C, D, E, D, low E, up to 2 Ds, back down to E, up to D, C, E, E, B, E, C, E, D, E, like that. Left hand the same 4 chords you know, so A minor, C major, D major, E minor. With that in mind, turns it just goes together, 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 just like that. There you go. Okay, so when it's faster, all right, and then the fourth part is the same as the first part again. So back to the, you can just stop on this E and E minor to make it like an ending, like that. But if you want to keep going, you can just go back to the, like that, okay? Just end on the E minor. Yeah, so you can end the song like this, or you can just repeat back to the first section and second section and just play around like that, okay? You can add improvisations. Yeah, just have fun. Okay, so yeah, Hope you enjoyed this melody and block chords of this awesome song. If you want to learn other tutorials like this, search up your favorite song name followed by Amosdoll in the YouTube search to find those other lessons to learn. But as for now, that's pretty much it. If you like how I teach in this video, how I break everything up step by step, part by part, you will most likely find another song that you'd like to learn by typing in your favorite song name followed by Amosdoll in the search bar, because I have over 10,000 piano videos on YouTube. If you want to go further beyond into learning music theory, playing by ear and improvisation, you can learn from my piano courses on my website bestpianomethod.com, linked in my description and bio. There, you will also find my song request services where you can request any song of your choice for me to make into a cover, a lesson, or sheet music. As for now, enjoy the rest of my content on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, and see you all next time.